I love drinking tea. Sometimes I do it for an energy boost. I often enjoy it socially. When I'm not feeling well, I use it to enhance my health. I've been drinking tea for years, but it's not a defining part of my identity. There's another plant in my life. It's a lot like tea. Humans have been growing both for thousands of years, and anywhere I travel, I'm excited to try new flavors of both. Yet when it comes to cannabis, it has become a defining part of my identity. How does that make you feel about me? Today, I'm here to challenge you to think differently about cannabis. We're living through a global paradigm shift. 59% of Americans agree cannabis should be legal, and 81% support medical use, which I'm pretty sure is the only thing 80% of Americans agree on. Yet, the same behavior that makes me a medical patient in California can make me a felon here in New York. And while some people consider me a human rights activist, others, like my mother, consider me a drug addict. For most people, cannabis is still taboo. Years of propaganda have created a stigma against the plant and the people who use it. Allow me to share some facts. Fact 1. Our government has spent over $1.5 trillion on the war on drugs, and yet today, pot is as common in New York as pizza. Fact 2. Since the war on drugs, we've arrested over 50 million Americans for nonviolent drug offenses. The majority of them have been people of color. Today, you can still get life in prison for selling pot. What if your barista got a life sentence for feeding your caffeine habit? Isn't it time to think differently about cannabis and social justice? Fact 3. Cannabis has been used as medicine for thousands of years. Today, it's prescribed in 23 U.S. states, yet according to federal government policy, the plant has no accepted medical value and a high potential for abuse. Research from top scientists in Canada, Europe, Asia, Israel suggests otherwise. At least alcohol and tobacco are legal, even though there's no evidence of them treating cancer, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, epilepsy, PTSD, and much more. But seriously, isn't it time to think differently about cannabis and public health? Fact 4. Hemp, the non-psychoactive species of cannabis, has over 25,000 documented uses. None of them get you high. Yet, the plant is considered a narcotic and is illegal to grow in the US. That's unfortunate because growing hemp purifies the soil, removes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and hemp is a superfood. By the way, today, America imports more hemp than any other country in the world. The truth deeply disturbed me. I could no longer enjoy the plant without feeling guilt or anger. And as the lazy stoner stereotype had never fit my identity, I decided to act differently. Today, I'm the leader of High NY, New York's largest community of cannabis activists and entrepreneurs. Together, we've collaborated with lawyers, doctors, scientists, Wall Street bankers, tech VCs, and others to educate thousands of people about the plant. We've incubated businesses, we've fought for patients' rights, and we've challenged the cannabis stigma just by asking people to think differently. And because I've got 5 on it, here's one last fact. Fact 5. Cannabis is not a gateway drug, but the cannabis revolution is a gateway revolution. It will transform medicine, agriculture, business, politics, and much more. A social movement has given birth to a multi-billion-dollar industry, an industry where nature is respected, women hold almost 40% of executive roles, and people of all backgrounds connect over something as simple as a cup of tea. We're living through a global paradigm shift. Whether or not cannabis is part of your identity, the time to think and act differently is now. Thank you.